Rivals is happening, but it's maybe even better today, twice as good, because today we have Void and Coney's Multiverses Clash beginning for a 2-day event that will span so much great gameplay in honor and celebration of the launch of Multiverses. It's been over a year since the game has been back, and just yesterday we saw streamers and content creators jump on it, and now we've got our first official competition with a huge prize pool to boot. All of the information coming and all the gameplay happening in just a few moments, but I cannot wait, so let's stop waiting. Let's get it started. My name is Rain Day. I'll be your host for these 2 days, and I'll be joined by some of the best talent and truly some of the best competitors as well who are subbing in as talent. I'm talking about the only EVO winner of Multiverses before. GSM Void will be joining us on the broadcast today. Void, how's it feel, man? It's an exciting day.
Honestly, it feels really good. I'll be super real. I've been playing so much that I'm really excited to just sit down and watch what people have been cooking up.
You have been in the lab, my friend. I'm sure many people have been watching your stream popping off over the last 24 hours as well. I've certainly been watching. I know someone else has been watching and prepping. She was there casting at EVO, and she's also been a huge staple in the FGC ever since, and so happy to have her back to Purple Sharpie here in the building for 2 days of Multiverses action. Sharpie, this is exciting.
This is incredibly exciting. As a matter of fact, I actually have to go ahead and call my doctor, and I just want to let everyone know I am cleared for this level of hype.
I was like, is there something wrong? Do we need to figure something out in rehearsals? My goodness. No, but the hype check, it's real. And anyone watching as well, because Twitch Rivals is such a community-oriented event, we want to make sure that you get your hype properly announced. So in the chat, make sure you let us know what you're excited about and how excited you might be. Hopefully all safe, though, and regulated based on your doctor's recommendations. But as we get into it, we got a lot of things to cover before we get started. And one of those things is the format, because this is a tournament that, Sharpie, people will be pretty familiar with if they watch platform type fighters before.
Or Twitch Rivals. This is going to be a 2-day event. The very first day, which is the day that we're on right now, is going to be a team of 16. That means 2 pairs of 16, a total of 32 different players, and only one of those teams will make it through to day 2. As a reminder, today's bracket is single elimination, which means once you lose, you're out. But let's talk a little bit more about the rule formatting for this event. It's very similar to previous versions of Multiverses official tournaments, which you may have seen, similar to EVO or even the Fall Showdown event. This is going to be 2v2. It has a total of 4 different ring outs. The time will be 7 minutes. There are no banned characters. And we actually have a total of 5 tournament legal stages. That's going to be Batcave, Trophy's Edge, Cromulons, Scott, and both versions of Sky Arena. Unfortunately, there will be no duplicate characters per team, but all perks are legal, meaning you go crazy and play those characters however you want.
Pretty exciting stuff as well, and like you had mentioned, we're going to be starting things off with our round robin of our group stage. One important thing to note is we will have one winner advance into day 2 tomorrow after all that's said and done today to really battle it out for our second pot of prizing. And speaking of prizing, Void, there is a lot on the line for these players competing today.
There really is. Now, honestly, I come from, the Smash scene, and it's not every day that you can get, $600 for 16th place, So I'm very excited both for the people participating in the tournament and, inevitably the winners too, because that means they'll get a piece of the day 2 prize.
You said that just like a true pro right there. $600 for 16th place. You're not looking at $3K. You're just looking at, all right, what's the benefit? What's the cost analysis here for my time spent into this one? So it seems like everybody is going to have a good time. But they're also streaming, so they'll be getting, that viewership, that hype that comes along with this as well, and hopefully some of those trophies. But as we look at not only what they're fighting for and how they'll be fighting, let's take a look at who will be fighting today. Because, of course, you can't have a tournament like this without the players. And for me, I watch this guy skits all the time. Caleb City with Kaiju Black. That's what I'm looking at. Level up your game. Umi no Kaiju. Great creator, whether it's on Twitch, TikTok, whether it's dancing or whether it's participating in our NBC Olympics that we did a few years ago. And I got to shout out TK Breezy as well. Your bud, Tevin. TK I've known for a very long time, all the way back in Smite. Sharpie, there's so many big names here. that are going to be in this tournament?
The one that pops out to me the most actually is Kony and Etoise, specifically because Etoise was actually the winner of the very last time that I commentated Twitch Rivals back in, I believe, 2022. They won, wow, I believe, with Croc, and they gained first place. So seeing that now they're competing with Kony, someone who is literally a master of platform fighters across the field, that's going to be the team to beat.
So, Void, what she's saying is Kony basically cheated, right? He basically set it up so he can win this whole thing.
His team is looking pretty good, but honestly, I have my eyes on a few other teams like EEVisu, Bam Talks. Bam has been posting some really good clips of the game. Hanky as well was a very prominent MVS player. He put a lot of time into the game, made a lot of content for it. So Kony's team is pretty good, but I'm pretty excited for a lot of other guys too.
Jojo That Mofo, PokeLols, 5UP. There's just so many great names, great players that we're really excited to highlight today. And they'll all be competing in our Multiverses Clash as well. And of course, Kony, Void, they're the headliners here. We have Void on the cast with us. We've got Kony playing. And as we look at ahead of this, Void, I just want to get your thoughts as someone who's had a day to prepare. You said you've enjoyed now being able to sit back and relax. Well, with these pairs, what have they had to be doing over this 24-hour launch period until this very first tournament happening just a day later to really have success? What to you would be kind of more of the ways to approach this so that they can really succeed today?
I feel like a lot of people, let's just call it layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 1, for what's going to be considered really good, will be pretty good old Multiverses habits. When the beta first released, there was a lot of, how do you get out of disadvantage? How do you pressure your opponents? Things like that. And not all of those things transition very well into the current release of Multiverses. So anybody that knows how to beat out those habits, while they might seem really good right now, there's a lot of ways to kind of cook people for doing the layer 1 habits. And anybody who's playing on this layer 2, they got it. They got the dub.
Sharpie, I got to go. You've watched so many of these tournaments. We had mentioned earlier, you casted at EVO, you've casted Void Play, but you've got to see over this last day a lot of people hustling to the first step across the finish line. What to you has been the difference between someone who is successful in doing that and someone who kind of stays in the middle of the pack?
Multiverses competitive is significantly different from other platform fighters because instead of 1v1, you're looking at a 2v2 setup, meaning that you have to be able to communicate with a team in very high pressure situations. With the brand new changes inside of the game, the additions of things like parry, new dodge attacks, and just new dash attacks, you have to be even more wary because it's very easy to punish someone who has no dodge meter. It's really important that these team members can basically communicate in the heat of battle, outside of the heat of battle, and ultimately when it counts.
And you bring up both points, whether it's old habits that you got to break and you can't take all of them with you, or whether it's just synergy as a duo, because this isn't just singles, which, may be more comfortable for some of our competitors. You've got to find a way to work as a team. And you know what? You know who else needs to work as a team? That would be chat. We've got a couple of things coming up for you in just a moment. But as we get into it and closer to our match 1, I got to let you know it's time for Guessing with Duncan. That's right, where you have the chance to win big. Check out the polling widget in the extension, and you can make your predictions and watch your name shoot up the leaderboard. The top 10 finishers get $10 Duncan and Twitch gift cards, and the first place winner claims a sweet Duncan sling bag. All you got to do, enter !Duncan for the full rules and cast your prediction now. All right, exciting stuff. As someone who has kind of watched this game come out in, I think, a really great time for a game launch. We had a lot of early hype for games at the start of the year. There's a lot of games coming in the summer and towards the end of the year. This feels like a perfect time, Void, to introduce a new game that everyone can get hype about. I feel that this also begs the question to Warner Brothers. I mean, it's a new look. What kind of character are you attracted to start playing in this type of game with this lineup? It's not every day you get to play with Bugs Bunny or LeBron James. There's a lot of variety here.
No, I actually like the LeBron James comment. I think LeBron James in a fighting game is just one of the funniest concepts to ever exist. You literally just ball on your opponents. And not only that, if you guys have been watching some of the newer gameplay, LeBron is actually pretty good. It seems like he's got a considerable amount of buffs. Yeah. He has to carry the team on his back, so why doesn't he carry himself to a dub in Multiverses? You know what I'm saying?
As a Lakers fan, that hit too real. too real for me, too close to home. Okay, I'm just glad the Nuggets are out of the playoffs. Let's leave that for another time. However, I want to hear somebody else's thoughts on what roster they're looking to pick up for their duo, how they feel about Multiverses launching, and of course, how they feel about being the headliner for their own Twitch Rivals tournament and playing in it. That's right, we've got none other than Coney here for an interview with us, ready to go. So let's talk to the man of the hour, Coney. I heard the woo. I don't know if I actually heard the woo. It might
sorry,
be.
did they not turn me on? I'll do it again.
There it is.
Thank you for the glowing intro. I'm excited to host my Multiverses event. I'm glad Void is here as a co-headliner. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, sure, man.
You could tag along for a little bit. Yeah, thank you for the delightful intro. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, of course. You know, Coney, this is the multiverse timeline that actually worked out where you host this tournament and not somebody else. So talk to me a little bit about how you just feel with this game launching. It's been 24 hours. We've waited a year before being able to get this back and in your hands again. How does it feel just to have multiverses and obviously to be heading into a tournament so soon?
I just love being able to play the characters that I haven't played in so long, because like there's some characters that hit in this game that are unlike anything else in a plat fighter we've ever seen. And Void and I, we play a lot of plat fighters, right? So we know what characters are out there. There's nothing in the world like Superman in this game. There's nothing in the world like like Morty. I was gonna say like Velma, but they did my girl really dirty, and I'm kind of mad at them for that. Can't play Velma no more. But no, it's extremely fun. The doubles focus is great. I'm not a huge fan of ones, which Void and I were talking about before, but, you know, I know some people seem to really love it, and I'm glad that we're doing a twos tournament today. I'm very excited.
So, with that being said, I know that you and Etoile, your teammate, you guys haven't really played too much, I'm guessing, but you guys might have some similar backgrounds. What kind of things are you looking for to kind of succeed at the tournament today as a team?
I'm a little worried for him because he said that he was a Jake player, and he got hit too because Jake is not the same as he used to be. So I think he's playing Stripe today, which puts me in a weird spot because I used to play Velma. I can't play Velma anymore because I think she's just fallen off the face of the earth. And I've got like a Taz, a Morty. I would play Gizmo, but Gizmo and Stripe sounds like an awful team. So I don't know. I'm going to kind of play it by ear. I think Banana Guard is messed up. I saw Banana Guard destroying Void today continually. True. I saw that happen. He thought I wasn't in the stream watching it, but I did. World's best gamer. Just got mopped up. By a joke character. I did see that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to feel it out. Maybe Banana Guard, maybe Morty. We'll see.
So, Coney, last but not least, obviously you have some opinions on characters. I'm not going to ask you for tier listings here, just as a professional courtesy. What I am going to ask you is that the game has gone through a continuous number of changes since the previous launch, and there are a bunch of new game modes. There's Rift, there's different target practice inside of the game. Have you explored any of those new game modes, and which one of them is your favorite?
Oh, yeah, I went into the Rifts mode, and I beat the Joker, and that was like a mini game where you shoot him down with a cannon, and I was like, oh, that's different. There's a game that's like a 3-card Monty thing where it's like get 3 Batmans, and then all the cards shuffle around. There's a lot of really weird stuff that the devs did that's kind of cool in a kind of casual setting. I was trying to grind it to get that Agent Smith thing and to get the cosmetics that you get from it. It's a little long, but, you know, maybe over the course until the end of July. You know, it's a little long, but you know what? We got until the end of July, so we got time. But, yeah, I really like the sort of Rift, more casual content. I think that fills a hole that a lot of platform fighters aren't really doing, so I think that's sick.
Did you get the cards right? I have to ask.
Dude, did you do the same
No,
Rift?
he didn't. No, he didn't.
I did.
No, he didn't.
I did.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
It gets so confusing.
So the reason that I asked is because the 3 cards were literally right back where they were. It was 3 Batmen, and then they just shuffled, and they went right back to the spot. It was 3 in a row. And I was like, is this game for, like, 6-year-olds? I felt like self-conscious for the first time playing Multiverses. I was like, did you not... I'm a grown man, you know what I mean? I was like, I know where the Batman is. So, yeah, that was kind of easy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, Coney. Well, we're not going to keep you any longer. Get ready to go. It's a duos tournament. We're so excited to have you, and thanks for helping to put this on. And obviously, all the entertainment. We're excited, and good luck in the tournament today.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a great time. Let's go.
All right, Coney, everybody. Of course, of Coney and Void's Multiverses Clash, the free-to-play game from Warner Brothers that now allows you in Unreal Engine 5 to play your favorite characters from the iconic properties, whether it's Shaggy, whether it's Velma, even though maybe dropped a couple tiers, whether it's Superman, there's a lot of range here that you could play. Guys, it's going to be so fun. I cannot wait to let you two off the leash and get going into commentary and watch these games, but we've got something to do right before then. Chat. While we are waiting to get into some of the gameplay, our friends at Honda want to make sure to give you a chance to play right in chat. As a team, see how quickly you can navigate the Honda Prologue SUV through a maze. You must collect the Twitch Rivals V and then find your way out the other side before the timer expires. Remember, chat, you must work together. So have fun and good luck. All right, congratulations. You guys did a great job with that. It's better than usual. Maybe Honda has something to do with it. Our friends at Honda are here to empower you, chat. Honda is bringing you closer to the show than ever before with our Charged Up Chat feature. The best creative commentary from chat and social media will be featured on our show. So join the conversation in chat. Send us your best memes or fire one-liners on social media. Find us at Twitch Rivals or use the hashtag ChargedUpChat, and you might see your comments featured live on the show. Honda offers a full line of clean, safe, fun, and connected vehicles. Their all-new, fully electric 2024 Prologue SUV features a timeless exterior, a tech-rich cabin, and generous passenger and cargo space. The Prologue is the perfect vehicle for weekend getaways and everyday drives. Big shout out to Honda and all of our partners for today's broadcast. We'll be shouting them out throughout it because that's what makes Twitch Rivals happen. But back with Void and a Purple Sharpie here. Before we get into commentary, we were speaking a little bit at length at some things to talk about that, would help give the audience. Maybe they're new and just seeing Multiverses and want to know a little bit about the hype, want to jump into their games. Well, there's some systems that are valuable to know and take advantage of. And Sharpie, I wanted to kind of lean to you to start it off on the perk system and how that plays and affects your gameplay in Multiverses.
Certainly. So actually on the previous launch of the game, the perk system was absolutely huge. There were different support perks, there was defensive perks, there was offensive perks, and there was just too many perks. What they did this time around was actually consolidate that into a smaller subsection of more specific perks that allow players much more concise play. So one of the perks, as an example, previously didn't give you the ability to kind of like play defensively against zoners. It kind of punished you more than it helped you. The new perk now allows you every single time that you dodge a perk, it actually reflects that perk around back to the person, returning it to sender, my favorite thing to do as a previous post office fan. And there's just so many different perks, but the perk system also now, instead of unlocking significantly later with the different levels that your character may have, automatically unlocks as soon as you first play it. They're default perks for everybody. That way, regardless of you starting the game off yesterday or you having played for the last 2 years, you will not be at a disadvantage when it comes to experiencing the best that Multiverses has to offer.
That's great. And it's also awesome to see how, this game has been able to develop itself with community feedback to really put the best version out there for fans and for players again here in 2024. So it seems like they made some much desired changes and adjustments. Void, you've spent time with the perk system as well. Are we seeing any clear-cut favorites right now that we expect to see a lot in the gameplay today?
I'll be completely honest, I spent a lot of time just playing with the default perks.
Oh, really?
I was like, these perks are pretty good. Sometimes some perks feel a little more complicated to use, but they gave a lot of cookie cutter perks like, hey, your guy is stronger, your guy is more defense. And I was like, okay, well, I just want to focus some time learning the game,
Oh, yeah.
But then this morning, I started experimenting more with the perks, and I feel like there's a few that really caught my eye. And I won't say it because I want to see if the players caught on. So we'll see if the players end up having experimented with the perk system coming into Rivals today.
Yeah, the funny thing about Rivals, unlike some of the traditional esports competitions that you might be familiar watching across Twitch or YouTube, is the fact that, this is happening live. They could be in our stream right now listening. Oh, yeah, I'll take that perk and go put it to play. But right now, speaking of play, Void, Sharpie, it's your time to do your thing. Let's get into the first level of gameplay for our round robins. So take it away.
So we're actually watching TK Breezy and Your Bud Tevin versus Coney and Etoile. We do see TK Breezy on Garnet and Tevin on Joker. And we also see on the alternate side, Banana Guard for Coney. And it looks like Etoile is running Stripe. Already, this team's looking pretty nasty. But TK Breezy is already two up inside of this first of 4 ring outs.
Yeah, and I know TK really loved Garnet in the beta release of Multiverses, but she didn't really get too much love. Garnet feeling a lot better in this current build, so I know that he's popping off internally about being able to play his girl.
Ooh, okay. I'm a little bit confused by the consistent crowbar coming out from Tevin there, but it looks like he's really just trying to get Etoile, and unfortunately, Etoile having no more dodge meter leaves Stripe a little bit prone here. Joker does get in. Yeah, Coney knocks him out. Really, really nice.
Having no dodge meter in this game sucks. There's no better way to put it, but it looks like it doesn't matter too much. Coney has been scoring a lot of ring outs with this Banana Guard Sair being a incredibly strong move. Somehow they went from 0-2 to being up and all they need is one more ring out in order to get the dub.
It's okay. It's okay about Banana Guard. That's when G stays. Just a joke character. You don't got to worry about it. Don't got to respect it, which is exactly what TK Breezy said. Look, this is a joke. Let's get you out of here and let's keep moving. Getting that stripe out at that high percentage, now Coney becomes a threat at 90%. And it's really just going to ultimately take one charged crowbar onto Banana Guard to basically ring out at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty much Coney.
Whew.
Coney
That was
getting
clean.
Immediately spiked by TK. Just an amazing edge guard, making it so TK and Tevin takes game one.
Now TK know that was nasty. Look at him. He know that was nasty. He know that was nasty.
He's cheesing. Look at him. Look at him.
Nah, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. The man knows Garnet. I stand by the fact that the Steven Universe characters are probably going to remain some of the strongest characters regardless of what version of the game we play in. They just have so many opportunities and so many different support opportunities and just truthfully so many options regardless of the game state. I think that really makes them powerful. We're moving into the very next match here. That's going to be Linkus7 and your friend Aiden versus Level Up Your Game, otherwise known as RIP, and Umi no Kaiju.
Now it looks like Linkus and Aiden are currently up 3-2. Now it's going to be a little hard of a comeback. Oh my god.
Ooh, that was nice.
Oh,
Ooh. Yeah.
the double saves.
It's tough.
Amazing.
It's tough. You know, I actually want to talk about that moment right there really quickly, Void. I've noticed, especially inside of 2v2s, very frequently you'll get wrung out exclusively because you're trying to secure something at a high percentage. You got to watch out for it.
Exactly. The way I like to say it, it's like a flow chart. If one guy gets hit out first, their teammate's going to cover them. And then your teammate's going to cover that, and then their teammate's going to cover that. So it's a big deal on who does get the first hit, as that first hit can lead to a lot.
Match that we have here is Cat Gun versus Jumpman. Jumpman, know he's up for something. Versus Connor Eat Pants and Alpharad. Now, Alpharad is sporting the Superman Connor on Banana Guard. Seems like a personal favorite, actually second Banana Guard we've seen inside of this tournament thus far, versus a Joker and Superman as well on the other side.
So I think Alfred's actually on the Bugs.
Oh,
which
that's
I
my
think
apologies,
these two is pretty good together. One thing about Banana Guard is very good at killing horizontally, but his vertical kill pressure is pretty mid. I'll be completely honest. So being able to have somebody like Bugs on the team makes it so your team has threats all over the map.
Ooh.
And look, you can see it right there, just being able to cover each other perfectly.
Yeah. On a stage like Trophy's Edge, where you have really, really low ceilings, getting that horizontal pressure from Bugs is huge. And I think Alpharad identifying that ring out opportunity ultimately won them that specific match inside of that set. Really, really good clip analysis, ultimately. We're back on TK Breezy and Tevin versus Coney and Etoile here. Looks like they
Coney
are
changing.
Yeah.
No longer playing Banana Guard. Went to Morty.
Interesting choice. I like Morty's recovery. I like Morty's projectile opportunity, but against a character like Garnet and a heavy hitter like Joker, I'm not entirely certain about that decision to change. But, you know, respectfully, both winner and loser teams can change their character on either game.
And I know Coney is thinking a lot about how Etoile is playing. Looking at the way that he put his own tier list out, he likes to think, is my teammate in the front? Or am I in the front? And who do I want to play based on that? And Morty being kind of an interesting character, he can kind of do both. He can be in the front or he can be the projectile guy in the back. But when he's chilling in the back, he's a lot more comfortable.
For sure. I think, truthfully, they're struggling a little bit against Joker right now. Tevin is really controlling space in a great way right now, and he's definitely become the focus, not only because of percentiles, but just because Joker is kind of a threat regardless of percentage. Being able to cover any part of the map and being able to control all areas inside of a platform game like this is huge.
It's definitely a big deal, and surprisingly, like I also think Joker is just a great character.
Yeah.
The crowbar we've seen time and time again. It's just very strong both in the air and on the ground. But we'll see if Tevin can make it back, and he
very
can't.
Nice spike. Yeah, very nice spike there by Coney to go ahead and secure that ring out. We're looking right now at Etoile at 133%. This could be an easy double ring out opportunity for TK Breezy and Tevin's team. Looks like they're trying to focus on getting anything here. Want to get Tevin into the mix to secure that with a crowbar. Ooh, TK Breezy's
The
got to
big
be
thing
careful.
here, TK
That's
somehow
one.
getting a kill.
That's two.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Now TK sweating there. TK sweating. Now he laughing like, yeah, all according to Kaiku.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I got that, Coney. You know what it is.
Are we good?
You know what it is.
That was big on TK, clutching up in both of the games.
Very, very
Now here,
nice.
I think 5 up in Bird Boy, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, taking a game from JoJo and Dantai. The first game, so it seems like they're gonna be able to play another, at least get the best of 3 out of the way.
Ooh, very nice.
This is last point.
Coming back to a lot of last ring out situations, and just the same thing I'm seeing consistently in these matches is you gotta know when to play defensively, and this Finn definitely knows when to do it.
And the
Aiden
thing
moving
is,
back.
Rip
Ooh!
doesn't. Rip was so close to dying that entire time, and he just didn't stop going in.
Nah, Rip is a Tekken player. He said, bro, all you did was activate my rage. All you did was activate my rage. You got to be careful with Shaggy. Shaggy's a Shoto. That man will install and destroy you, okay? Super
Shaggy actually
Saiyan,
Tekken
Shaggy's
incarnate.
a thing.
So now here we have Hanky and Palm going up against Joe Bartolozzi and Janix.
Very
Now,
nice, very clean.
this we're at the beginning of the match, and personally, I think Batcave is a really good stage, especially these characters are just big vertical threats, and Batcave is a stage where you just kill people vertically. It happens all the time. So Arya Harley facing off against Joker Shaggy. Let's see where this goes.
I really, really am a fan of the Shaggy pick on Batman stage, especially. Just Batcave, like you said previously, so good for horizontal characters, but Shaggy especially has such good short to mid-range options that he becomes a master, a beast here. And you combine that with Joker's opportunities, control everything. This is a prime example of why it's great. Do you see that nasty little vortex they created before he went flying off the stage?
I did. That's one thing with the teams game. The pacing and the momentum can shift way quicker than your traditional fighter, as it's not just one guy's getting hit, but sometimes you hit 2, and sometimes 2 people are hitting you.
Whew. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Fantastic Shoryuken there from Shaggy, as I like to say. Ooh, okay. Knocked out nice and clean there by Wonder Woman, but ultimately winning. Yeah, that was actually really, really clean. I think Red Team played that incredibly well. Congratulations to Hanky and Palm for that very first round inside of that set. That was a good first round.
Definitely. That team, I definitely think, is one of the scarier ones of today, so let's keep an eye on them. But
believe
right
this is,
now,
yep.
yeah, we're keeping an eye on Kaiju Black and Caleb City playing against Rolfgator and Chris Tatarian. Now, if you don't know, I don't know if you know this, Sharpie, Rolfgator actually won the first Multiversus Twitch Rivals back in 2022.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It was him, and I think it was Etoile as well. And Chris Tarian, I actually think he's a fighting game player. I think he's
a Ken
he's
player
a
in
Ken.
Street Fighter.
That's what it is. Yeah, he also has a really popular interview series on YouTube as well, where he interviews personalities like Mike Ross, Justin Wong, Alex Valle. He's very well known inside the fighting game community, specifically the traditional fighting game community.
I know I've been keeping up with him since around Street Fighter V, but I gotta check out that interview series myself. That sounds very interesting.
Almost as interesting as that Steven shield right there. Now, I will say there have been a couple of changes to Steven. Most notably, instead of being a support, he's now classified as a tank. And when you see things like that bubble going off, you kind of understand why. His ability to basically go ahead and not only shield his opponent, but also just go in there and kind of act as a punching bag, you know, to get his opponent or get his teammate out of bad situations, just basically baiting them with his own really, really, really good defensive options. I think that's more tank-like than anything, but, you know, I'm not a hater. I'm a lover.
Definitely. Now, Steven is the only character in the... Oh, what a catch!
Very nice. Very
Steven's
nice.
the only character in the game that can shield. He's the only character that can technically block. But not only that, I gotta point this out. Kaiju Black is literally the first Steven I have seen in this Multiversus release.
Mine too.
So,
Well, no, that's
I'm
not
hoping-
true. I'm a
hoping
Steven
Kaiju
player.
keeps it up. I think that'd be awesome to see more Steven today.
Oh, yes.
But
Very
here
nice.
we are seeing EEVisu and Bam playing against Binks and Paper. And I know you brought up Binks and Paper earlier.
Where do you want to play?
Looks
But
like
it
they're
seems
actually playing different team. Or actually, I didn't get a chance to look at their. No. This is exactly what I saw Binks playing. I saw Binks playing LeBron. I saw Paper playing Jason. But I understand why they are choosing to play Banana Guard as a very popular pick around here.
The crazy thing is Banana Guard only came out less than 12 hours ago. And a lot of
Literally this
players
morning.
today are having
Yep.
like a great time with them. Even, like Coney said, I was struggling fighting against one earlier today. It's a great pick for people today. And since he's so new, maybe you might not have that much experience playing him, but nobody has experience fighting against him. So
It's
really
one
great
of those
pick.
things where, especially coming off of Combo Breaker and watching so many people opt to use day one characters inside of an official tournament set, I get
Street
why.
Fighter 6
I get
patch.
why we got him. Yup, I get why we
Yep.
got him.
But here we
Because we gotta
are,
let it
last
rock.
point.
Final round, very last ring out opportunity. Let's see who gets it. We got Shaggy
Both
at
of blue
112.
team are low.
Ooh, it's really gonna come down.
Link is going for the charge.
Let's see. You got to get these percentages up. Anything over 80%
Oh, this is huge.
would be good.
Link is somehow staying alive, leaving his teammate to fight, and it's
Yeah, really.
working out.
Nasty install
Shaggy
here. Rage
kick.
is active. Yup. You can't let Shaggy install. You can't let Shaggy install. Why'd you let him do it? I
That
understand.
was
why.
great. Yeah, Link is choosing to just chill in disadvantage, be like, yeah, Aiden got it. Aiden
Yup.
got it. Let me install. I'm gonna just chill over here. You got it, bro.
Come
And it
back
worked
in.
out so well.
Yep. I do see Connor on LeBron here. Cat Gun
Mhm.
still on Superman. Jumpman, always on Joker, making him laugh.
Yep,
Ooh,
and this
okay.
is game 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred and Connor a little behind, 1-3. Doesn't seem like they have too great of a kill opportunity. Only Superman is at really high percents, but this is one thing that I really like about Multiverses. It's not stocks like your
Yeah.
traditional platform fighter. It's not that you have 4 stocks to play with. You have 4 lives.
Yep.
So even though Alpharad and Connor, they did die 3 times. Both of them are really low percent. They still have a lot of fight left in them.
Yep. I really like the way that Cat played that as well, kind of just waiting for the opportunity to go ahead and kind of like up air a Superman, especially with that armor on there. Very, very smart, very intelligent. Fantastic opportunity to kind of like read the pacing of that specific set. Back
I
on
know.
EE and BAM with Binex plays and Paper. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like we've had any character changes thus
No
far.
KOs yet either. They just got into this game, and there's the first one.
Yeah, very, very nice.
outta here, bitch.
I'm a big fan of the way that EE is playing this right now. I'm enjoying this Wonder Woman movement. And
I'll
as
be
soon
honest,
as I say
I thought
that,
he'd be worse.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did not see him playing that much yesterday. I did not think he'd come out and play today. He told me in the kitchen earlier when I was making coffee, we're just trying to win one, man. So
yeah, I get
let's
it.
see if he can do it. Let's see if he can do it.
So the thing he told me actually last time I had an opportunity to commentate him with Twitch Rivals, he said, I got carried into top 8, so I think I'm a master at this game. And that is in full effect here as BAM is actively knocking up all that percentage and just getting EE to go ahead and secure those knockouts. Very smart play.
Dead.
Yeah, Bam is actually playing amazing.
Dad,
And definitely one of the
look
players to
out
look
here.
out
You
for.
really
And the
not like
double
that.
coverage.
See?
You're
See?
really not
Yeah.
One
It's
went low,
nasty.
one went
You're really not
high.
like that.
You
Where are
gotta-
you supposed to
You're really not
go?
like that.
You gotta definitely know exactly what you're doing inside of situations like this. And I think that both EE and BAM did a great job reading those situations. But what a fantastic showing for the very first round of this single elimination bracket.
That was
Yeah.
that was really entertaining to watch, guys. I mean, just cutting in, from the variety of the actual characters that we saw on display and the variety of success from the different teams, it was neck and neck. I didn't see a lot of 4-0s, a lot of, just even 4-1s. There was a lot of 4-2s, 4-3s. Void, it speaks to, yes, maybe everyone's at a similar pace because the game came out yesterday, but also we got a lot of talent and people are still trying to figure out the perfect solution to really dominate in a game.
Yeah, I mean, even like here, not only did we not see a lot of like just clean wins, we saw a lot of game 3s. There's a lot of times where I saw somebody lose, maybe like 4-1, 4-2, like it looked pretty solid, right? And
Yeah.
then we got back to their match and suddenly it's game 3. There's been a few character switches on the board. So clearly game 2 didn't go that hot. So I'm pretty excited to see what else the tournament has in store for the competitors.
I want to get back to you in a moment on some of the character selects, because you mentioned seeing, I think it was only Steven played. And I know, Sharpie, you mentioned you'd seen one before. What's your take, Sharpie? I'll start with you on the selection so far, from Banana Guard to Joker to Steven. What are you liking about what we're seeing so far in group stage 1?
Ultimately, I am seeing a lot of Joker. I am seeing a lot of Superman. And I mean, Coney said it himself. Banana Guard is a very, very popular pick right now. This is a day 1 character. A lot of people don't know the matchup. And in situations like this, when you're playing inside competitive play, you have to understand that matchup unfamiliarity is going to carry you very, very far. And I think we're seeing a lot of players take advantage of that. Very, very strategic, very smart, and very good inside of a tournament like Twitch Rivals.
And Void, let's talk about that Steven again. I mean, these picks are, I think, fun for fans to watch. Why did you enjoy it so much, and why are you hoping to see more of those kind of, unusual picks shine here in this tournament?
Well, I've actually, because I didn't see Steven, I've talked to a few of the older Steven players, and, seeing is believing, and I haven't seen anything. So now that I finally get a chance to see Steven being piloted by Kaiju Black, it was really nice. Steven has a lot of stuff going for him. I'd like to see more of him. Personally, I used to rage fighting Steven in the beta. He was really good and really annoying. So I would like to see if he still has that type of sauce when it comes to the new game.
Now, a character that I saw a lot, I mean, we did see moments of Wonder Woman, we saw some Shaggies, a lot of Banana Guards, but we did see a pretty consistent amount, I think, of Jokers, at least prevalent throughout our first rounds. Sharpie, this is a character that kind of has the total package from what I'm hearing you guys speak about.
Very much so. Joker is is one of the newer characters that was announced. The only newer character inside of the game as of this moment is actually Banana Guard, who was released earlier this morning. But like Joker, Jason, and Agent Smith are all characters that are currently inside of the game. We're not going to see a lot of Agent Smiths because, like Coney stated, you have to complete all 5 levels of the Rift, and that is a Gregorian task to ask for on day 2. So ultimately, what's going to be really interesting is seeing these Jokers who have the opportunity to basically ring out at really high percentages, or really low percentages, my apologies. And they also have the opportunity to not only command the stage from a short range position, but they have really good long range options. Their recoveries, amazing opportunities for recovery, and it becomes an item that you can then use to help your ally recover in different situations. Just a really good overall character that was added into the game that still has that most recent unfamiliarity, but ultimately also allows people to showcase all the new different mechanics inside of this Multiverses launch.
Well, usually breaks between gameplay signify time to get some water and stuff, but we're going to try to use them so that you can level up your game, because we've got 2 experts here in Multiverses. We're going to be breaking down bigger picture topics like how to play, things to think about, characters to choose, and why they're good. So this is a good time to pay attention in between the action. But we do have the results right now ready after group stage round robin number 1 has occurred. And you can see it right there. Your friend Aiden and Linkus, they take down Umino Kaiju and Rip in 2-1. That was a close set. Caleb City, Kaiju Black, they 2-0. Chris Tatarian and Raffle Gator. And down below, pretty similar. Jumpman, Cat Gun, 2-1 over Alpharad and Connor Eats Pants. And your Bud Tevin and TK Breezy with the 2-0 over Etoile and Coney Void. For your co-headliner, I'll say, or at least he said to you, that's not a great start, but we have hope.
Well, you could say that.
Coney's going to be on the mic tomorrow. You gotta be careful what you say, because he's going to be able to prep it back to you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
And on the second page as well, you can see all the results. EEVSU, Bam Talks taking the 2-1 win. Hustle and Problem Right. Big shout out to Problem Right. You may know him streaming Madden, probably some college football coming out in just a few months, which people are excited about as well. And in Group D, I'm Dante, Jojo That Mofo narrowly lose in a 1-2 set to Bird Boy and 5-up. And Palm 710 and Hanky take the 2-1 over Genix and Joe Bartolozzi. Sharpie, what's to learn here? I mean, there are a few 2-0s, a lot of 2-1s, but ultimately surprised at these results or par for the course?
I think these results tell us something that a lot of players refuse to acknowledge on day 1 of a game, which is this game is balanced. These characters are fair. It is a skill matchup. And what we're seeing is a lot of really intuitive, skilled players knowing how to play and knowing how to read their opponents in the heat of battle.
All right, well, the round robins continue. Round 1 is done. Those are the results. Round 2 about to begin. So, Void and Sharpie, you have a chance to take it away as the game is ready. Let's jump into it for some more multiverses.
Starting off really strong with Etwa and Coney versus Catgun and Jumpman. Looks like Coney is swapping over to Joker. Oh, apologize. Coney is actually swapped over to
Soups.
yeah, Superman now. It looks like the Morty play didn't work out the way that he wanted, but very smart secondary here. Void, any thoughts on the Superman swap actually?
I'm very surprised. I'm not the biggest Superman believer, which just is very interesting to me because there's 2 on the screen. So I know Coney said that Superman feels really good, and I'd love to see it happen. So
Yeah. Really?
I'm very excited to see it.
Ultimately, what I'm really impressed by is Catgun's Superman. I actually think Catgun's kind of the MVP in the Jumpman and Catgun team. She's doing a great job of basically moving her opponents into a position where Jumpman can then go ahead and punish.
And that's a really good thing of Superman. You know, Superman, in my opinion, when I think of tank in multiverses, Superman's the guy who comes into play.
Yup.
So Catgun piloting Superman very, very well here. And we're going to have to see if Coney can pilot Superman a little better.
Ooh! Just
That
flying him
was
off the
actually
screen.
terrible.
Look, even Jumpman's laughing at him right now.
He went too deep.
Cody feeling really cocky right now. You know, I'm starting to think that winter interview kind of got to him a little bit.
For real, for real.
Our very next match is going to be Joe Bartolozzi and Janix versus Jojo That Mofo, and I'm Dante.
No, I'm actually a big rooter of JoJo here. I'd like to see them make it all the way to the finals, but we're gonna have to see how these matches go.
Ooh, okay. This Wonder Woman play is just immaculate, absolutely clean.
my God.
I'm loving the L drops here. Ooh, okay. But as soon as that's just commentator's curse. As soon as I say something, yeah, I actually think Wonder Woman's the person to watch here, and the person my eye is mostly caught to, mostly just because of the way that she's navigating through these platforms. But I think Sky Arena does a really good job of rewarding characters like Wonder Woman that have really good, smooth movement options. You know,
Absolutely jump.
There's just a lot of places to move. There's a lot of ways to navigate around your opponents, and Wonder Woman just always being such a great character when it comes to just using the mechanics of multiverses. So
you're not
hopefully-
saying that as Nakat's duo at all?
No. If anything, I'm downplaying her. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Nah.
Really, really ultimately good games coming from Jojo the
JoJo
Mofo
and Dante.
and Dante. Now we got Rip and Umi no Kaiju versus Kaiju Black and Caleb City. Looks like Kaiju is still on Steven. Absolutely love that for them. Caleb is on Wonder Woman. And we're not seeing too much of a change other than that from the other team. But I gotta say, yo, Kaiju's kind of cleaning up.
Kaiju's definitely putting in work. One thing that's really good about this team, I remember just facing it a lot in the beta, and it's the fact that Wonder Woman has armor, and she's such a force to be reckoned with, like we just saw Caleb pull off. But Wonder Woman gets shielded by Steven.
Yup.
And then suddenly she's just flying at you, but is Kaiju gonna get this kill? Is that a bubble?
So the new bubble.
Oh my god.
What? Wait, what? No.
Kaiju got the bubble, and he's like, I'm good. I'm good.
You know what we call that inside the traditional fighting game community? We call that BM.
True.
That's what it is. It's asserting your authority. Ooh, really nice ring out there by Coney. That Superman pick paying off now. And round 2, a lot cleaner this time around. Still ultimately behind on the ring outs. Coney and Etwa got to make up for it. But I definitely see them being a lot cleaner with it, trying to focus on just getting Jumpman this time around.
Now, I gotta imagine, oh my goodness, what a Joker card. This is a very similar situation to the last round where they did die 3 times, but they don't have anybody super being threatened to die right now. And that's a pretty big deal when it comes to
Coney at
multiverses
the-
just score system.
No, see, that's what I'm talking about with Joker here. Did you see that multi-hitting? And do you see how active that was? Did you see the time for that recovery straight into a
Oh, here we go.
crowbar?
A run back of last game.
Gotta be
Coney
careful.
not opting to go into the blast zone this time.
Yeah, smart. Very smart. Very, very smart. Okay. I like Etoile's idea there.
Hold
Almost
this could be it.
finishing
This
it
is a
off,
great
yeah.
situation.
It's tough because you can tell Coney isn't as comfortable with Superman as he is with like Morty or some of the other characters we saw him on earlier.
But we'll see if he just has to be comfortable enough, and he can't.
Void, just say it, Void. Just say it, Void. Just say it, Void. He was free. Just say
No,
it. Just
he
say it. I have to
wasn't.
work
He
with him
wasn't.
tomorrow. It's okay.
Coney
It's okay.
definitely fumbled game 1, but Cat Gun pulled it through game 2, being like, last game, you trade stocks with me, but this time there ain't no trade. I'm just taking.
I'm the Superman now. Yeah, I get it. I see you. Okay. What we got here is Joe and Janix yet again. Jojo that mofo and Dante. Looks like they're in game 2 right now. 1 ring out apiece. Bugs. Yeah, he's gonna fly. 111% on Batcave. Yeah, honey. It's a bird. It's a bat. It's a bunny.
Now, again, we mentioned it earlier. Batcave is just a great stage for people killing vertically. So
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody here is just happy to be here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have to ask, Void, as someone who has played this game at a really high level, what do you think of the new Bugs Bunny kit?
I think he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has everything.
Okay.
Jack of all trades, master of some. Like,
I
the
have
safe
to
is
ask,
honest.
are there any perks that you would recommend to someone who personally has issues against the Bugs matchup?
I don't know. There is the perk where you can dodge and reflect projectiles if you parry it, which can be a little tough, but ultimately, I think just getting some defense so you don't die as early could be really good.
Yeah.
He still has to hit you a lot of times in order to get these KOs.
And as a reminder for our newer viewers who haven't had a chance to play multiverses and some of the new mechanics, parry is basically just a frame-perfect dodge input. So if you dodge at the exact right time, you'll actually do a parry, recover a lot faster, and you'll be plus, which will allow you to go ahead and attack significantly faster as well.
Yeah, it puts a lot of stun on your opponents. You can low-key parry somebody and start charging an attack for a while. It's really good. I'm a big fan of what they've done with parry.
It's also really easy to punish if you mistime it. So it's a really,
It
really
is.
good reward, really, really dangerous because there's so many other safer options you can do besides just parrying. But for those of y'all who like to live dangerously, parry is the way. As we go into this very next set, looks like this is going to be Caleb City and Kaiju yet again. We actually have Caleb's viewpoint for the very first time, and we're seeing him really make Wonder Woman schmoove. Wonder Woman sitting at that nasty 0% this entire time so far for the last minute. Whew. Okay, yeah, Void, I'm seeing as a Steven main how annoying my character can be, and I just want to say he needs it.
He does. I actually agree.
Thank you.
But one thing to notice, I just realized we're having kaiju mirrors. We have Umino Kaiju and Kaiju Black.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think this round will determine who is the better kaiju. At least inside of multiverses, inside of this
multiverses,
tournament,
for sure,
of
for
course.
sure.
I'm sure both of them, as streamers, are completely and totally separate people who both deserve praise.
Definitely. But it looks like Umino Kaiju and Rip actually taking the lead here.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be pretty hard to seal the deal against a Steven Wonder Woman team, but let's see if they got it. Oh my god!
Yeah, their percentages were just a little bit too high. Look, Caleb's celebrating, as he should. Oh my god, not the One Piece, which is real!
I'm down for the One Piece.
Me too.
Now we gotta see, this is Rolfgator and Chrisitarian against Linkus and Aiden. Linkus always happy to charge in the blast zone, as we've seen from previous matches.
I gotta say, the thing I didn't recognize previously inside of their matchup was just how good both Chris T and Rolfgator are at separating their opponents inside of these matchups. Both games that we saw previously, well, of course, as soon as I say it, that's what commentator's curse really is. Yeah, Chris T knows how to go on the attack. He knows how to identify threats. This man has definitely played Street Fighter before. He said, my neutral is par none, and I'm about to show you par some, honey.
Right now, it looks like we're watching a lot of 1v1s. This kind of stuff can happen a lot, where you just give a lot of people space. It's like, I'm just going to fight this guy, you fight that guy. But once it becomes the scramble, that's when kind of the momentum starts to fly all over the place. So we're gonna have to see where it goes from here.
Ooh, you don't want to be doing a backpack that close to Wonder Woman, honey. Not on recovery. She is a ledge hog. Yeah, that is going to secure it. And now their job right now is to make sure that they get that Shaggy staying off the stage if they can.
I actually think this is a great position for Linkus and Aiden. Linkus isn't at like super threatening percents, but now he just has a 20% Aiden that can just run at the opponents.
Yeah, very, very nice. That was really, really good. Not the teabag. That teabag was wild. Smart man though. I mean, he won. What you gonna do? Okay, so we got Problem Right versus Hustle. Ooh, it looks like.
We had Problem Right versus Hustle.
Yo, I just want to say.
Ooh, Bam and EE taking game 2.
I just want to say for the record, Hustle has one of the best cosplays I've ever seen for Harley. That was beautiful, and you should be very proud of yourself, sis.
And here we have JoJo and Dante actually taking game 3, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they come out of the set 2-1.
Ooh, it's going to be close here. It's going to be close. Now, I believe EE and Bam won the very last match, so that should make this 1-1. I got to ask, actually, how are you feeling about the level selection that we've seen so far? This is exactly the same level selects that we saw with the exception of no counter pick to Tree Fort. Are there any stages that you feel, outside of Batcave, which you stated earlier, does really, really well for horizontal characters? Are there any stages that you feel do really, really well for vertical characters specifically?
I think the biggest one is probably just Trophy's Edge. I don't think we'll see a lot of Trophy's Edge 2, because Trophy's Edge 2 competitively can be a little tough.
Yeah.
When the stage is good for vertical characters, but you put a big gap in the middle, it's like, oh man, I have to jump. But vertical characters are good. I don't want to jump.
Yeah.
But Trophy's Edge 1, definitely the stage of all time. So I'm hoping we see a little more of that as the tournament goes on.
Oh, actually, this is the very first time we've seen a Tom and Jerry as well, being played by Connor Eats Pants. Any thoughts here, Void, as a Tom and Jerry fan yourself?
Yeah, you know, Tom and Jerry are pretty light. You know, they have a lot of trouble killing, so Connor dying there, I'm not that surprised. But hopefully Connor can, you know, just show off his intellect in order to take this game 3 against DK and Tevin.
Now, Void, I believe you're actually one of the members who's going to be playing tomorrow. Is there anything that you're learning watching a lot of these teams play that you're kind of like dissecting inside of your head and you're going to like possibly take today? And I'm in no way, shape, or form calling you out as a Tom and Jerry player who is now watching another Tom and Jerry player.
It looks like Wonder Woman's pretty good. Yeah, Wonder Woman Joker seem pretty strong from what I've been seeing. So I definitely think I'll be seeing a lot of them tomorrow.
Oh, this is a dangerous situation against the Bugs. Yeah, I'm looking at Garna's dodge meter be basically empty right now. And it's crazy because it's like even with one gone. Oh, yeah, Joker struggled there. Yeah, that's hard. That's really tough.
He actually found the kill there.
Yeah, he did.
He just dash attacked under the corner dash attack.
Speaking of dash attack, how do you feel about that new mechanic inside of the Game Boy?
Dash attacks are really good. Some characters have amazing ones. Some characters don't have great ones. Like I would say,
you can just say Iron Giant.
Great.
You can just say Iron Giant. He's right there.
Yeah, but even then, it seems like some characters have combo ones, some characters have kill ones, and ultimately, it feels really nice with the way that the movement is nowadays. Sometimes you do get trapped in your landing, and dash attacks go pretty far. They're really active, so I'd like to see players, most notably myself, use them more.
That was really nice. Ooh, almost got the combo there, but still finishing it off really nice and clean. I like that. I like that play. Okay, I see y'all. I see y'all. Problem right. I see y'all. Hustle. Let's go hustle. Put that hustle in there. No, see, Harley's actually one of the characters who I've been enjoying a lot of the things around her. Yeah, not able to recover there. Very nice. That was a good sacrifice. That was a good sacrifice there. I don't dislike that at all. Yeah, he was.
Now this is fine. They are down a point, but they're both really low in percent. So again, this is a huge thing in multiverses where it's really good.
Let's go!
Oh my god.
Very nice there. Very nice there. I actually think that was Jake's no, I actually think that was Sticky, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch it for sure. Maybe we'll get the highlights from that for chat. But you know, ultimately, once again, really good showing inside of this round 2 for the tournament series of Twitch Rivals.
Yeah, things are starting to heat up here. We've got 2 rounds down and a few more to go for day number 1. And of course, we get into our single elimination side of it in the second half of the day, which is going to mean that these teams will be leaving the competition. Only one will make it into tomorrow. And, it's always a great thing when you see that happening. I know we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will have some more multiverses for you. Well, the game that people have been awaiting is launched yesterday, and today we have our very first tournament at Twitch Rivals. We do it like nobody else can here over at Twitch, and we're super excited to have 2 of the best in the business joining myself, Rain Day, in this broadcast. Of course, I'm talking about GSM Void and the Purple Sharpie, who have been doing a great job commentating these first couple of rounds. But we've got one more round to go before we find out our seeding for our elimination portion of the day. That's right. A lot of action still coming your way. So welcome everyone who is in chat. But let's get into the standings because we just had a few games played. This time, Sharpie, break it down. We saw some successful showcases from pretty much everybody, but now people are starting to show that they're a little bit ahead of the pack.
So really interesting, Group A actually has 2 people ahead right now. Kaiju Black and Caleb City, as well as Linkus7 and your friend Aiden, both have 2 wins. So ultimately it will come down to the rounds that they won inside of those 2 wins in order to determine a victor from that group. Inside of Group B, we have Catgun and Jumpman ahead right now with 2 wins. So they ultimately will move out of that group. And inside of Group C and D, let's go ahead and take a look and see who ultimately moves forward. Looks like it's going to be Problem Right and Hustle currently at the lead right now with 2 wins in Group C. And in Group D, Henke and Palm 710 have 2 wins. So they will possibly be moving forward.
I mean, Void, you said, you were talking to Visu earlier this morning, and he said, we just need 1 win. Well, he's got it. Is that enough? Is he going to keep going, or, is he done?
I also conveniently forgot to mention that he said, I ain't settling for last. I'm greedy. So I know that he wants more. I know he's keeping his head in the game. Even though he is very happy with 1 win, that's not enough to settle in.
He is great, man. I had a lot of fun. We hosted the Esports Awards red carpet last year, so working with him is great. It's great to see him in this position as well, where he's competing. And a competitor, they're always going to have a shot in it. That's why I look at Problem Right too. Their team, 2 wins out of the 2 possible rounds comes from Madden, but that doesn't mean that competition doesn't translate. So now as we get into our final round here, it's going to be a decision to see where we get a 3-0. Do we see teams step above and truly say we are the top seeds in this? Or do we see even more parity? Because I look at, okay, let's look at Umino Kaiju, right? And Rip playing together, Sharpie. We saw a lot of those sets that came down to 1 kill that decided whether they were going to win that or not. I think there's a lot of teams in that situation where if the ball bounces their way, and they don't have to be playing LeBron in this case, it would have gone very differently for them. And so this is a chance to kind of get back to an even playing ground.
I really think ultimately the decision inside of those moments really comes down to understanding your character, like I said, understanding your teammate, and also understanding your opponent. And what we've seen across the board, like I've said previously, is that these players that are moving forward inside of this bracket know everything about their teammates. And when it comes down to these final clutch 1 ring out situation for difference inside of wins, what you see is a lot of people who are very familiar with platform fighters ultimately identifying ring out opportunities and moving forward with it, with the exception of Coney flying into the blast zone. And I know he's gonna eat me up for that tomorrow, but I don't care because he did it on stream. On stream.
Coney providing so many just sound bites for tomorrow to respond to. You guys are going to set him up for some home runs, hopefully, because we know he's got the personality to do it as well. Void, I want to talk a little bit about this idea I like to present when I'm casting, and I'm usually over in the Apex side, but we talk about it. It applies to almost anything. Sometimes a good plan executed poorly is worse than a bad plan that's just executed well. And you mentioned, teams having roles. How important do you think it is for the teams that are going to move forward in this and eventually make it to tomorrow to have those clearly defined roles? Or do you feel like there's certain teams that are just going to thrive in the chaos?
I think this is awesome. I think even, just creating chaos can be a role. Now, I have a big background in League of Legends, and I always tell people, I'm like, dude, if we make a call, you got to follow it. Because if 2 people follow a call and 3 people don't, suddenly you have a bad plan. Right. So as long as you guys are on the same page, that's what makes a great team. It's not about always having the greatest game plan or the greatest mechanics. Sometimes it's as simple as, you're down? All right, cool. That's it.
If I may interject here really quickly,
please.
I just want to say to you personally, Rain, the thing I've learned from fighting games is that if you do not commit, then you are gonna lose. And I can tell because you are a fantastic improver that you commit each and every time, my good sir, don't you?
Yeah, well, you've got to. And I think that's the thing, too, in sports, in fighting games, in battle royales, whatever it is, having an idea that's presented, there's 1,000 ideas out there. There's 1,000 books to read. There's 1,000 movies to watch. But at the end of the day, it's about who actually does them, who makes them, who gets the job done. And I think in fighting games, when you have these TTK, stocks, or lives, you have even less time than all of those things to make those decisions. So just committing to something, you're right, Sharpie, is huge. And I do actually, now let's bring this topic up because we got some time. So many people are talking about this game. I mean, everyone loves watching Multiverses. I'm sure they love playing. I've been playing myself. TTK, it's always a big conversation. This game, unlike some plat fighters, tends to have, in my opinion, a little bit of a lower TTK, meaning that the time to kill, it can happen quickly. How do you think that impacts the way this esport plays out, this competition plays out? I'll start with you, Void, and maybe Sharpie, you can add on to that.
I think this is a so funny and hilarious because I've played so many platform fighters, and not once has the term TTK come into play until the release of this game. So I've heard so many people reference TTK yesterday on stream and like a bunch of people's Twitch chats, and I'm over there like baffled because I'm like, whoa, we don't really use that terminology. But it makes so much sense because the TTK in this game is so low that people have to talk about it.
We're currently watching EE and BAM's team versus Fire Breathman and Mystic at Yay, and I just want to talk about how the fact is it's been about 20 seconds. We're about to see a kill, and the percentages are low, but ultimately the thing you have to remember, I believe this is Treefort. Treefort actually is. I apologize. I actually don't think this stage is legal.
Oh, Treefort 1's right.
The only legal stages are Batcave, Trophy's Edge, Cromulons, and both versions of Sky Arena. This may just be a button check. It looks like that's a button check right there. Okay, I was, apologies to everyone at home. May have been a little bit confusing, but let's get into the real gameplay here. We were talking before about TTL, and what better place to discuss it than Batcave. Very, very small, claustrophobic stage. You have hazards on the side. You have characters with fantastic ring out potential, like Shaggy, like Bugs, like Wonder Woman. You put them on a stage like this, yeah, you're going to get a knockout literally in the first minute, which, I mean, let's just watch right there. Look at that, 40 seconds on the dot.
Now, again, I mean, I'm just happy to see a lot of Batcave. I feel like some of the best games happen on Batcave. Like, people just explode here. I think it's fun for all parties involved. And again, I just want to see more Batcave. But I know that I think Rafflegator and Rip's teams, I think they're both 0-2 in the, or yeah, 0-2 in the group. So they are fighting for third seed. Winner of this will get guaranteed third seed. And I'm sure they really want that. You know, there's a lot of scary teams coming out, especially whoever ends up being first seed. And you wouldn't want to face one of them.
There's a big monetary difference as well in terms of third seed and fourth seed. Like that difference of, I believe it's $600 and close to, I think, $800. That's a pretty hefty difference. You know, you may be able to. That's a difference in buying a PlayStation 5 or you know, PlayStation 4. Like that's a big difference, honey. Congratulations to Rip's team there. Let's go.
Taking game 1 from the previous MVS Twitch Rivals winner. Now I see Soups on the screen, so that means this is Catgun.
Yup. And it looks like Jumpman, as always, on that Joker right there. TK Breezy, his team's been sitting pretty high up inside this tournament those far. Look at that. Yeah. Both of them at really, really high percentages. Yep, just go ahead and finish it off. That's what that Joker, bro, he don't feel real funny to me. I'm gonna be honest.
He's so strong. Such a great character. Now, this is actually a fight for first seed, as we have Kaiju Black and Caleb City versus Linkus and Aiden. And this is going to be the last stock here.
If they come out of this with first seed, Kaiju Black and Caleb will actually be inside of the running for a $3,000. That's $1,500 prize for each player if they move forward inside of this tournament. So this is a big opportunity for them. One ring out apiece. Kaiju at 114%. Caleb trying to get him off. Ooh, not able to move forward the way they needed to. Link is 7, and your friend Aiden go ahead and win that Scrandal situation, putting them up 1-0 currently inside of that set.
Linkus and Aiden have been so clutch. I feel like I've seen them in so many last hit situations, and they always pull through.
Yeah, really good communication ultimately from that team. They moved at the exact same time, exactly where they needed to be. Now we're with Problem Right and Hustle, a team that has kind of struggled a little bit so far inside the previous matches. We see Binax Plays and Paper staying really strong with that LeBron and Banana Guard team so far. I'm really rooting right now for Hustle and Problem Right because I actually really like their team. I
like the idea. This is actually Jake hasn't been super duper common, so it is nice to see a lot of Jakes. That little up special into the up air, really good confirmed. Still working on the release of MVS. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Another really good thing is that the Banana Guard still coming in strong. Banana Guard being just a very solid character, even though he's been out for less than 12 hours.
Yeah, that's kind of why you have to be careful. That horizontal pressure from Banana Guard is like disgusting right now.
I think he might be the best horizontal killer in the game.
Yeah, just charging straight at you, saying, "Look, I don't care if I'm a joke character. You're about to be a look at that." Look at that. And I promise you the only reason that they lived was because they DI'd. Like, at 133, come on. It's a keep away game right now. And LeBron's no stranger to keep away.
Oh my god.
Yep.
God.
Yep, that's so active. That is so incredibly active. I'm not even
That's
gonna
so
sit here
good.
and pretend to know exactly how that worked, but I just know it do. I just know it do when it did.
Ooh, back
Yeah.
with Catgun and Jumpman taking the
Yeah.
lead in this match. This is a pretty good spot for TK and Tevin. They have a brief 2v1 while Jumpman's respawning.
I don't think TK's too upset about that ring out off the side either, just because of the way that he was able to recover back immediately into a knockout situation.
Mhm.
And you just have literally Tevin right behind him with a crowbar each and every time. Really, really.
Oh, the
look
Joker
at that.
card.
Look
That's the
at
Joker's
that.
signature perk.
Mhm.
That's one of those perks where I've been trying it out, and honestly, it makes such a difference. While Joker's already a strong character, it makes him even better.
Ooh, I'm taking down them notes. Chat, you heard that. What's a good signature perk for Joker? Tell him, Void.
Hey, man. Don't tell the streamers. No, I can't.
Don't tell the streamers I'm trying to win. I
Don't
feel you,
let 'em
brother.
know.
I feel you. Look, we
But,
have TK Breezy one ring out right now. Now,
Yep,
Cat
run away.
and Jumpman have pretty. Ooh, yeah. The percentages are pretty even right now. But now Cat and Jumpman do have the advantage.
Oh.
And don't matter. TK and Tevin said, I have a plan, and that plan involves Superman. Yup, nice and clean. 1-0 inside of that set thus far.
And that will be a fight for first seed. If I'm not mistaken, the winner of that set, it's either first seed or a tiebreaker.
I think
minimum.
it's a tiebreaker. Yeah.
If whoever's third seed of that pool wins their last match, I think it might be a tiebreaker. But I think that's Coney and Natoile's pool, so maybe hopefully they can pull through. But here we have Kaiju Black and Caleb.
Coming.
They ended up losing the first game against Linkus and Aiden, but it looks like they had a brief lead coming into game 2.
Now, I want to talk very briefly about Steven Universe. As a Steven Universe main, I love this character. I'm not
I'm taking
necessarily
so much damage this
100%
turn.
in love with some of the changes made to him because they did make him a tank. He's less of a support, and they removed his kill on down special, which makes me so sad.
Was that the Rose Tether?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Rose Tether. It was the one where he like extended his arms out. Yeah, that's clean.
Oh, I see.
That's clean. Yeah, and that used to be you charge it, they go flying, that's kill type of deal. But I believe they've replaced it basically with his like up aerial instead, like his up aerial charge, and
Ooh.
that right there, his neutral is just
I cannot
nasty.
deal with these shields.
His
I don't
neutral,
deal
his
with it.
neutral
I
attack
literally
is just
don't, and I'm
nasty.
trying to
Now you
cancel
time
it
that
as he starts
perfectly,
it,
you
but
get
it's
the
instant.
perfect amount of knockback, resulting
I was a
in
little
knockouts.
afraid because I saw Aiden and Linkus in another clutch situation, but it looks like Caleb and Kaiju just closing it out as quickly as they could. But
Now,
we're gonna have to see if we
Cody
can get
is
close
playing
here.
Tim Gremlin. And I want to say, for the record, Cody, dude, I respect you so much. But dude, come on, what's going on? What's going on, bro?
I have pretty good opinions on this character, and I know Coney does too. But I just think it's really funny to watch the Gremlin team of Stripe and Gizmo. Probably one of the only kind of like same series teams we're gonna see today in Twitch Rivals. It doesn't look like it's going very hot.
That's what I
Okay, I was gonna say, am I out of arrow?
trying to be kind of out. As I feel like every single time we watch Cody come on stream, that happens. You know, and I feel bad. I feel bad for the man because we gave him the first interview and he talks so big, and then every single time we go to him, it's like loss, and I'm like, ah, poor Cody. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, Coney. I'm rooting for you, Etoile. Etoile is still one of my favorites to win inside of this tournament. I
Definitely.
believe he'll come through.
So here we have game 3, 2 apiece. Jumpman and Catgun against Tevin and TK. Tevin and TK getting an amazing offstage situation here. A lot of stage to work with.
Okay. Okay.
Tevin's still
Okay.
going.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Yes!
a 2v1
Yes!
situation. Can
Oh
they
my
finish
God.
it?
Oh,
They
that was
cannot.
close. That was close. I saw what they were trying to do. Superman just had too much dodge meter there. But ultimately, now we're looking at literally no more dodge meter left. One bar. As soon as that
Superman
dodge is gone, y'all got
burned
it. Look, and that's when Tevin goes in. That's when TK finishes. Yup, I see the plays.
Crowbar. Superman
Look.
being a real tank has meter back.
I like their focus here. Really good focus. Yeah, good dodge. Okay, now all that dodge meter is back on him. Yep, just finish it off with the crowbar. That was beautiful play right there, Void. And I know you're used to seeing it because you play at high level, so this is what you see. But that type of teamwork is exactly what I'm looking forward to seeing as we go even further inside of this bracket.
That was actually amazing.
Yeah, that was
Well
hype.
played by
That was
TK and
hype.
Tevin.
Let's go. Oh, no rip. Oh.
Yeah, Chris
oh.
Tatarian and Rolfgator ending up
2-0.
taking it over Rip and Umino Kaiju. Now here we have Linkus and Aiden in a clutch situation again. How did I know that? I saw Aiden in the corner charging it up, seeing if he could get the rage.
Yes, sir. Let's
Get the
go.
comeback. But nah, Kaiju Black and Caleb City closing it out, getting 3-0 in their group.
Really, really fantastic play. Once again, round of applause to all of our competitors, and just a little tiny golf clap to everyone who unfortunately lost inside of these previous rounds. But we'll see, as we still have one more round to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this going to be the game 3?
Are we showing the game 3 here? Ooh. Ooh. We're waiting to see a game 3.
Starts charging, he pumps iron.
Yes! Okay, looks like we are going to Cromulons. Gonna be Problem Right and Hustle versus Bynix_plays and Paper for the final game inside of this set. Ultimately, the winner of this will move forward, and I believe they're securing right now a spot for 3rd inside of here.
I think yeah, it would be Binks Plays and Paper going to 3rd, but I think Problem and Hustle, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're number 1 in the group.
I would be surprised
LeBron's
to
out.
see that, just because I don't have the standings currently in front of me. But let's see. So far inside this match, already a very early ring out for Team Hustle so far. Very nicely played. Love that. Okay. You know, I actually don't just like the idea of having a Harley and a Jake on Cromulons here. Really, really floaty characters able to basically challenge Jake and LeBron, or I'm sorry, Banana Guard and LeBron, because Banana Guard doesn't have a very strong aerial game. Most of his game is on the ground. He is that type of bruiser. And so if you're able to jump around him and avoid, even without platforms, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah, and it seems like they are just having a lot of room to navigate around, not really having as much trouble with the Banana Guard as before, but it is still not even 2 apiece. Hustle and Problem, can they close?
Oh, wasn't able to grab that up move there from Jake, but they're looking at, yep, they got their eyes on a Banana Man. They said, I got a banana split for this win. Moving up 2-1. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just 1-0 inside of that set. Okay, nice and clean.
I think it was
Looks like
2-1.
we have
It was 2-1.
It was 2-1? Okay.
Yeah.
We are moving forward inside the set. We're back over to Connor Eats Pants and Alfred versus Coney and Etoile. Coney's team actually doing really well this time around. 2 knockouts apiece right now. Ultimately, out.
Let's see if they got it. I mean,
Let's
Jason
see.
in an advantage state situation here, being at low percent as well. He's a very strong character, so he can score these ring outs. And this is Trophy's Edge.
Yeah.
Telling you, Trophy's Edge, this is actually where the
ceilings.
best games happen. Lower ceiling, people can kill really early, and Jason just being really hard to kill himself.
Yeah, unfortunately that frying pan is getting between Jason and the perfect ring out situation, trying to put a bug where a Bugs Bunny deserves to be. Okay. Not able to get around. Nice try. Almost. See, that was wow. Wow. Okay, this is a game changer right here. Can you grab him? Can you grab him, Coney? This
Let's
is
see
a
if
you
Coney
moment.
can get off the ledge. He's alive?
Oh. Wait. Was it Coney or Etoile that got run out first?
Etoile died, but Coney was about to.
I got stuck on the side.
Ooh, that one hurt. I'm not gonna hold you. I was heavy rooting for Cody there. Cody, let the replay show. I'm still rooting for you all right now. Just remember this when we have to work together tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys might have dug your own graves there with the Coney comments. I mean, I don't know if that's going to save you, Sharpie. But, you know, Coney didn't help us out either. I mean, 0 wins in that group stage so far. It's got to feel tough. but we're rooting for him. And of course, part of this tournament is Clash, Coney, Void. It's part of him. So we're going to be having fun no matter what. But we've started to see a lot of these themes of which teams, which players, which characters, which stages are looking the most advantageous as we start to head into our standings and take a look at what is going on for our setup of our elimination bracket that is to come. Remember, none of these teams are out. They've just been seeded. So if you did lose 4, you're going to play against one of the best performing teams from another group. So it doesn't bode well, but anything can still happen. However, chat, Guessing with Duncan is finished for today. So it's time to check out the Duncan leaderboard to see your placement. A friendly Twitch staff will reach out to confirm prizes for the top 10 scores. Come back for the next Twitch Rivals for your chance to play and win. And chat, Sparked Energy by Duncan is for gamers. When you're hard stuck in bronze or feel like you're throwing, change up your game with a little bit of energy and a whole lot of flavor. Grab a Berry Burst or Peach Sunshine Sparked Energy to get the vitamins, minerals, and caffeine you need to lock in and get the win. Try Sparked Energy by Duncan today. And honestly, you know, I'm about to get some Sparked Energy myself. I think we're going to take a break pretty soon, but I'm ready to go. All right, so make sure you grab that and you guys enjoy. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with standings and a setup for our single elimination part of the tournament. Almost. You almost got out of the maze. Congratulations, though, to everybody who's played. Hopefully you got sparked up, got some energy again. Thanks to Duncan. Thanks to Honda. Thanks to all of our partners who help support this Twitch Rivals broadcast. It is because of you that we can make this great one happen. The clash of multiverses with GSM Void and Coney is still underway, and we're about to get into the even more exciting part of it. Void, that is elimination. This is when, as a competitor, you have to make your final adjustments, otherwise you're out. And as someone who's been a part of these types of situations, taking it all the way to the end and won, especially at EVO, which we had mentioned earlier, what's the thought process right now going into it? Whether you're a top performing team or, as we look at these standings, whether you're a team that is a bottom performing team who just hasn't figured it out yet.
Now, if I want to be completely honest, I think every team here has put up a very good fight against all of the top performing teams. And they might not be feeling that way, maybe like, oh my God, I'm 4th seed, I'm 3rd seed. Nah, like everybody's playing very good today. And I just think sometimes it takes an outside point of view to realize that. So if they are feeling a little down in the dumps, I hope they have the stream on, because every team that I've been seeing today has what it takes to win the tournament. And they just got to believe that themselves. That's what matters.
I hear Red Bull helps too.
It does.
That's right.
It
Or maybe
gives you
some
wings.
Duncan Sparks. They might need some Duncan Sparks.
I'm down
at
for
this
some
point.
Duncan. I'm down for some Duncan.
Listen, let us, Duncan, I'll give you the address on the low. If you want to deliver a few, I'm down. I'm ready to go. I am hyped, though, naturally. And I think you had to call your doctor to make sure your hype levels were okay earlier, Sharpie. But in terms of single elimination, it doesn't get more exciting than this when it comes to especially the type of 2v2 that we've got going on in multiverses right now.
My doctor actually texted me during the break and let me know that my NaCl levels are still a little bit too high. So they recommend calming down on some of the general Banana Guard gameplay that I'm required to watch, just in general, especially against Steven Universe. But ultimately, I think that as we go into the single elimination tournament setup, the most important thing to remember, especially between these matches, is adaptation. That's what ultimately helps you in the long term. I know Void brought up a fantastic point of just getting outside perspectives. In the tournament setting, sometimes you can't always get a coach to help you out, though. You have to be able to identify what was the underlying reason why you lost a certain engagement, or what type of situations the opponent team is consistently putting you into. And I think both myself and Void kind of capitalize on this. Actually, Void, I want to go back over to you. Previously, when we were watching specifically Kaiju and Caleb City, we actually saw them using a lot of kind of like vortex situations, and we saw it even compounded, especially with TK and Tavon. Are there any other like specific matchups that you can think of with characters that kind of create these little vortex situations where the opponents are kind of stuck and not necessarily able to react as well?
Now, a big thing that I would say those types of situations exist for is when zoners are pretty prevalent in the metagame. And I'll be honest, I'm just not seeing any zoners today. Everybody's out here to throw hands. And, when it comes to the situations where you do throw hands, you do get situations where like Wonder Woman goes high and Steven goes low. But it's not as crazy as like, okay, this guy's going high, this guy's going low. There's like 2 projectiles in the back. There's a rocket going to the moon, These situations are still a little more prevalent. One thing it's really good in multiverses is going up. As we've seen a lot of teams that have a lot of strong verticality. Wonder Woman hits up, Arya hits up, Joker's crowbar, Harley the character, So when it comes to being above characters, that's when you feel like you're in these checkmate situations. And I hope that, being on the receiving end, people just don't panic. Because once you panic, you're done. You're cooked. It's over. You're getting served as a 5-course meal.
I wonder, just as someone who enjoys watching fighting games competitively as well, there is that rare moment. And I think maybe let's look at a game kind of not in this genre, but still a classic fighting game like Street Fighter, where sometimes you'll just have to character swap because of the matchup. It's so bad for you. And you might have that in your back pocket. Not everyone does, but you might have it. In a game like Multiverses, though, Void, it's very difficult, especially after launching yesterday officially, to have those type of 2v2 matchup swaps in your back pocket. So I wonder if that's even a viable strategy at this point. We've seen Coney switch basically every single game, and that has not worked. But is there a realistic swap opportunity to go, this Wonder Woman, this Steven, whatever it is, let's pick this, and that'll be better in this? Or you just think that's unrealistic? Go with your best two?
I definitely think there is those opportunities because sometimes, it is a matchup against your opponents. It does depend how comfortable you feel like they are fighting your own character. And that's how you see some historic like fighting game counter picks where it's like, okay, this guy's playing the best character in the game and I'm playing maybe like third best. But this guy doesn't know how to fight the fourth worst character in the game. And I know how to pilot them probably the best. So I think that is a very realistic situation that we can see. One thing when it comes to this tournament, if characters can do it Joker pretty well or do it with Wonder Woman pretty well, I feel like those are the two characters that we've seen the most. Then I think you'll have a very much better chance than maybe some of the other characters you have. Wonder Woman has a lot of armor. Do you have a character that deals with armor really well? Joker kills really well vertically. Do you have a character that can deal with him horizontally? And I'd like to see if characters do struggle in those avenues. I mean, not characters, players. Then I want to see if they choose a character to fit the play style, not to play towards their strengths, but to play against their opponent's weaknesses.
And it's really important to add here that tournament ruling does allow both the winners and losers to ultimately change their tournament. That's a very distinct change from other platform fighters and other traditional fighters in general, where the winners are unable to change their game or change their character after a match. Inside of this, the specific thing to remember is that winners are required to change first, allowing the losers to react to the character change, which is a really, really big momentum opportunity for the losers to kind of get counter pick opportunity as well, right?
Well, these are all great points, and I think anyone who wants to play this game, who's going to jump, maybe playing right now because they're not on a broadcast, they could just watch and play, or going to play later on, which I know Void and Sharpie and I will be doing. At this point, you're learning a lot from these conversations, but there's still so much to learn, especially when you even look at characters, right? We saw a little bit of Jason. He showed up, he flashed in, flashed out, didn't quite work for, I don't know who was playing it in that exact round. It was Coney. Oh, God.
Putting him on blast. My bad.
Oh, man.
It was Coney.
Sorry.
It is called Void and Cody, so I feel like if Void brings up Cody losing.
I feel like I brought up some drama here for Coney. I'm sorry about that. My bad. But let's just focus on Jason, not who is playing it. Sharpie, let's start with you. New characters.
Yeah.
What are they bringing to the table here in Multiverses?
So the new characters, like I kind of talked about previously, that are currently playable inside of the game that we will see and can be played inside of Twitch Rivals as of today are going to be Banana Guard, Jason, and we may also see a lot of Joker, or we have seen a lot of Joker. Jason is considered a bruiser, or actually, I believe he's a tank inside of this game, and it really shows. There are a lot of perks that really complement him. Most specifically, there is something that actually gives him gray life in addition inside of his kit, and I actually want to ask you, Void, what have you noticed as some of the most complementary perks inside of Jason's playset? Really quick, I know we only got a little bit of time.
So there's this one perk where if you live over 100%, or I guess let's just say 100, you end up doing Weakened, which is a debuff every time you hit your opponent. And I'll be honest, being Weakened, it goes up to 5 stacks. So you would think, oh, it stacks pretty high. Let's not get to 5 stacks. No, getting Weakened once, you're kind of dead. I'm not gonna lie, you don't have that many opportunities. So I think that perk, Jason being a tank character as he is, being a big body, it's really hard to hit him off the stage. That should be the number one perk going into every Jason's toolkit.
I'm excited to see this take place in action in our single elimination bracket that is upcoming. And for those who have waited patiently, we appreciate you. The bracket is ready. So let's see how those results have put our teams, whether your favorite streamers or content creators or whoever you're rooting for, into positions to go and fight for their lives. It'll be Kaiju Black and Caleb City going against JoJo, that mofo. But I'm going to start with you, Sharpie, here as we get the big overview of this bracket. What stands out to you? And Void, I'll get your thoughts on that as well as we take a look.
The biggest one right now for me is Problem Right and Hustle versus Coney and Etoile. Now, Problem Right and Hustle have not been necessarily performing badly inside of a lot of these matchups, but Coney and Etoile haven't had the fantastic run that they want to have. The biggest issue that I specifically see here is Hustle and Problem Right have both shown issues, specifically closing out some of these ring out situations. And Coney and Etoile are very talented platform fighting players. So I think that they've been better about identifying ring out situations, even if they've not necessarily capitalized on them. That's definitely going to come down to a lot of familiarity in that specific set right there. And that's the one that stands out to me the most, mostly just because I wouldn't have expected that. I wouldn't have expected those two teams to go up against each other.
Yeah, well, Problem Right and Hustle winning their bracket, Coney and Etoile not winning their bracket, and so that's put them together. And so that should be something that hopefully for both teams can be a sign of good fortune. Only one, though, will make it through. Void, your thoughts on this bracket as it stands?
I definitely want to see same thoughts. Coney and Etoile, they've literally had like one interaction games, and they just lose every time. So I'm just going to have to see if they can pull through. Another thing is Binks plays and Paper playing against TK Breezy and Tevin. Binks plays and Paper. I think they started looking a lot better as the tournament went on. And TK
with
and
LeBron,
Tevin
right?
just looked, definitely. And TK and Tevin, they've looked really solid overall, but I want to see if Binks plays and Paper can keep ramping up when it comes to playing in the actual single elimination bracket. Another thing as well, Catgun Jumpman against EE and Bam. Now, that's going to kind of be a banger. I'm not going to lie.
Is that one of the only Supermans that we're seeing? Catgun and Jumpman running one of the only Supermans in this bracket, right?
One of the only. It depends if we count Coney's Pocket of Tricks. So if we don't
Bag of
count
Tricks.
Coney,
That SD was
What are we
crazy.
calling that? The Bag of Tricks? The Pocket of Tricks? I mean, I like all of those. Void, I'll let you take that. The Pocket of Tricks. I mean, this is looking like it's going to be great. The other thing, too, is stakes. Stakes are super high, and storylines are great, too, because we've talked all this about Coney, and we know he's such a fun guy. He has so much fun on his stream, whether it's YouTube videos or whatever he's creating content-wise. He likes to bring the energy, so we know he's going to have fun with this, but really, it's a great story, too. If, group stage is a little rough, and then you start making that bracket run deep, Sharpie, that's what makes this so fun. It's that really only one team is going to be able to make it to tomorrow, and also every team has a chance because it's do or die right now, and if you can do, you might just make a miracle happen.
And it really comes down, Etoile is actually French for star. So if Coney and Etoile become the rising stars of this, I know this because I play a lot of Phantasy Star Online too. If Coney and Etoile become the rising stars of this competition, it's going to be really interesting because this will be the very first time in Twitch Rivals history where you'll have a commentator who is also competing inside of a tournament. And that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for someone commentating their own match on this cast. That's what I want to see. That's the storyline I am dreaming and wishing upon Etoile for.
I mean, I'm more just Void. That sounds tough. You're commentating right now. You were playing beforehand, but doing both at the same time, that sounds a little hard to me.
It does sound really hard. Sometimes it's really easy. I'm not gonna lie, where it feels like kind of a let's play, this is how you win Twitch Rivals.
Yeah.
So, step one. And I feel like sometimes it can be a little fun, but definitely when there's stakes on the line, when there's actual money and you can't mess up or you're just out of the bracket, the stakes really are what makes the tournament what it is.
Don't die to that. He died to that? I mean, I could feel like that might just be something that echoes across your commentating, as I heard a lot of it on the stream as well.
That sounds like me.
Oh, don't die to that. Oh, no. Victory. But yeah, I mean, it's great. This is the fun part about a Twitch Rivals. We get to see community come together in a kind of competitive way and also in kind of a fun way where we really learn, but we learn through having a good time. I've loved watching all of the different highlights of these teams. TK, you mentioned him and your bud Tevin. I actually looked at them. They were actually playing very well. You mentioned the Garnet too, coming back in and feeling good in this new iteration of Multiverses. Is Garnet a character that you think has that level of potential